to the Positive Side with Larry and Sharon. I'm Larry, sitting beside me is Sharon, and we're here to talk to you today. We're going into a new year right now. We're all making resolutions. We're all trying to better our lives and get further on our paths. And we all set these goals for ourselves. This time of year, we call them New Year's resolutions. And we put down the list. We want to lose weight. We want to be healthier. We want to get into shape.
Get rich. We want to get rich.
We want to get rich. We want our
I want to
finances
be in
better.
love. I want to be in love. I want Mr. Perfect to sweep me off my feet.
I will tell you that if you look at it, the scary thing is that within 3 weeks, over 50% of all of our New Year's resolutions are shot. Done. We're done with them.
He's not being very positive right now.
Actually, it's reality. And what we are doing
is.
to be positive about it is we want to examine why. What stops us? We have these great intentions that we set. We go into the New Year's. We want to make them great. By the middle of February, we're done. Well, why and what can we do to help keep us on task, on track? And what stops us from attaining the New Year's resolutions that we did? I paid for that gym membership. I went for 3 days the first 2 weeks, and then I never went again.
Yep. It's very simple and very impactful, but basically, we stop ourselves. We are the ones that get in our own way, and we allow excuses, we allow giving our power away to other people, we allow the outside forces to come in and tell us. We truly believe that we, as individuals, as human beings in this world, hold the power to create the lives that we desire. So if you desire a different body shape, a different lifestyle, physical well-being lifestyle, if you desire to be in a relationship with somebody who lights you up and makes you feel more alive and happier, if you desire creating a business for yourself, like we are right now, if you desire more abundance in your life, if you desire to be calmer in life, we control it. We really, really do. So one of the things that Larry and I talk about all the time is relationships. And one of the things he always says to me is what? You say, okay, I'm coming to you and I'm saying to you, I'm a client, and I come to you and I say, I want, to be in love, and I want to find somebody that makes me happy.
And I always break this down, and I'll go into two different directions. First thing that I do is I try to get the people to realize nobody else can make us happy. Only we have the power to make ourselves happy. We have the power to make ourselves happy or to make ourselves miserable.
But Larry, I'm trying to find somebody to make me happy, and it seems to me like all of the good ones are taken.
And what you are doing, and when you say something like that, in my belief system, is you're coming from a consciousness of scarcity. You see limitations, you see walls, you see problems. All the good men are taken. They're all married, or they're in a partnership, or they're not looking to be in a relationship. If that's really what you perceive and what you see and what you say, that's what you're attracting back to you. What I try to do is I always try to come, as opposed to coming from a consciousness of scarcity where there's limits and, there's only a little bit of this and there's only a little bit of this and there's only a little bit of this. I don't believe that. I believe that the universe has an abundance of whatever we want out there. So I try to take my client from looking at it through eyes of a consciousness of scarcity and reframing it to a consciousness of abundance. Because let me tell you, if you want a good man out there, you want somebody who will love you, somebody who will take care of you, be your partner, go through that, there are plenty out there. but you're looking at the limitations. All of them are taken, all of them are this, all of them are that.
Well, I think the other thing that people do is we don't look at ourselves in the mirror. We don't recognize that what we see in the mirror is what we're putting out there. So if I look in the mirror and I say, well, I went out with this guy and he didn't call me back, so there must be something wrong with me. Maybe I'm too short, maybe I need to lose weight, maybe my hair is too gray, maybe, whatever it is, maybe I talk too much, maybe I didn't talk enough. Instead of accepting that maybe that just wasn't a love connection, so to speak, we immediately, our brains, our left side of our brains, the thinking part of our brains, which in my opinion is what holds us back from our dreams and our desires, because that is where that is where our ego lives, and that's where all the little gremlins start to come. And if you can learn to embrace that who we are is not our thoughts that we create on the negative side, that they can be from the positive side. And you look in the mirror and you say, I am actually an amazing human being. I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I have so much to give. I bless people every day by sharing with them how important they are to me. And you just look at all the good things that you do in your life. The more that you do that, the more that's what people are going to see and be attracted to. You know those people. Those are the people that when they walk into a room, there can be a whole bunch of people in the room, and when they walk, Larry Rifkin's one of them, when they walk into a room, people, it's like they gravitate towards them. You're drawn to them. We find ourselves drawn to these people. Some people call it charisma, but it's really, there's a confidence within them. There's an esteem that they carry in them. And don't get me wrong, those people also always have little things about themselves that they're working on. We do. But they emanate this energy of acceptance of themselves, and in doing so, others are drawn to them.
And they learn to love themselves. And I love the points that you're making. I'd like to actually go back a step earlier though. And what we started with in this show was why we don't keep our resolutions. And I think one of the big issues that we have is that we set these goals that are unattainable. And you set a goal and it's so big. I want to lose 100 pounds. It's actually possible. I've done it. But it is actually possible. But if you look at it and you say, oh my God, I've got to lose 100 pounds, and it's this massive elephant in the room, and you work at it for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and then you've only lost a few pounds, you start to move away from it. What I believe makes it more realistic is to take your goals and then break them down into realistic components. I have a saying, and I've said this for years. You can't eat an elephant all in one bite. It's this big elephant that's in this room, and it's, oh my God, how am I going to finish it? But if you break it down into smaller, realistic, attainable goals, you'll be more apt to succeed at that. I want to lose 100 pounds over the next 12 months, over the next 10 months. Okay, that's a massive goal. But if I can lose 10 pounds a month, well, that's more realistic. I can work out, I can diet, I can ride my bike. 10 pounds a month isn't this 100 pounds. It's 10 pounds a month. I can do that.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping my goals realistic. And I'm breaking them down. I'm not looking at, I want to make $500,000 next year. Okay, what do I want to do on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis? Because $500,000 or $100,000 or $50,000 is this big number. But if I can break it down to areas where I can quantify it and qualify it and make it realistic, I'm more apt to do it. So we take these resolutions that we make, and these resolutions are grand. I want to lose all this weight. I want to be in a relationship that's going to last happily ever after. I want to do this. But it's this massive scale, this massive elephant. So
But I
we
want
break
to.
it down.
Yes, I totally agree. You did say one thing though that I'm going to scratch off the list for myself. Unattainable. I don't believe anything is unattainable. I believe just what you're saying, that no matter how big we set our goals, no matter how big our dreams are, no matter how big our desires are, we hold the power. It's in here, and then it's in our action steps, and then it's in setting the small goals, and with each step you get closer, and closer. And if you surround yourself with the support and the positive energy, then this is how we end up attaining our goals.
Absolutely. And I want to make a point though. I didn't say unattainable. I said seems unattainable because we're putting that into our mind. And if we put that into our mind, again, coming from a consciousness of scarcity, we change that and we go over and we move over to the consciousness of abundance and knowing that anything is attainable, that whatever we want out there, money, relationship, good health, wisdom, friends, love, there's an abundance of it out there from the universe, and you can have whatever you want. You need to focus on it. You need to make realistic goals, break them down into attainable components, and stick with them. Like anything in life, we have to stick with our goals. It's the person that continues a little bit longer than everybody else that's the one that succeeds. So I think to really summarize what we're talking about, setting our goals and keeping them, and what stops us from it is we have to, number one, set realistic goals, break them down into action modules and realistic modules, and stay with it and keep working at it. And then when we come back and revisit this in April and in June and in October, you're still working on the same resolutions that you set now, and you've almost hit your goal. You're so much closer. You're better now than you were when you set the goals, and that's the object.
That is the object. And so let me dial back for a moment here, because again, what we talked about at the beginning is that we get in the way of this. And how do we do that? What are some of the ways that we do that? So I'll speak for myself. I'll give you an example of my own journey. So I have a dream, and this is part of it, the Amazing Universe Broadcasting Company. And let me tell you some of the things that get in the way of my dream and getting as much information out to you as I like to on a daily basis. So, blogging. Okay, so I want to blog, and I don't end up blogging because I come in the morning and I end up getting on Facebook, and then when I'm on Facebook, I'm looking at what other people are saying, and then I get into my emails, which I like to call a portal for somebody else's agenda, because most of the time when I look at the emails, it's all about what somebody else wants and not what I want. And then maybe I'll get into a conversation with somebody in the office here. And all of these little things end up being quote unquote time suckers, taking away from me the goal that I set for myself. So how do I resolve that? So one of my goals that I'm setting for this year is to be more structured with my day. I have found in the past that helps me. So that's one of the goals that I'm going to set for myself. So what does that look like? So that looks like in the morning, I'm going to spend a total of 1/2 hour on Facebook. And the reason for Facebook is just to touch base with a few people. It's a social media. I also love to put out my daily quote on that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to shut Facebook down and step away from it until maybe 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, where I'll go on again for another half hour. Same thing with my emails. My emails, I'm actually not going to get on my emails first thing in the morning. Not going to do it. So if you're sending me an email, know that I will get to it, but it will not start my day. I will not start my day with other people's agendas. I will visit my emails around 10 o'clock, maybe from 10 to 11, answer the ones that are really, really important, and then put the other ones off till later that day. And I promise to get back with everybody, but I am not going to allow it to take me from my day. Now, so far, if I start my day at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm saying 11 or 12 o'clock, so far that's only a total of maybe an hour to an hour and a half out of all of those hours. So what am I doing with the rest of those hours? The rest of those hours I'm focusing on what is going to get me closer to my goal, writing the blog that day, creating a video with Larry, speaking to some guests that are going to be on my show. All the things that are important to my big goal, which is the Amazing Universe Broadcasting Company, and getting it out into the world and having it reach masses of people. Right now, you are the masses, and we so appreciate you, and we know there are so many more of you out there. So this is just a little example of what I'm going to do. The other thing that I know that works is a visual. For me, is drawing. So I'm actually going to draw a little cartoon for myself of where I am right now, and be blessed by that, and be grateful for that, and be thank you for that. And then I'm going to draw a picture of where I want to be 6 months from now, not a year from now, 6 months from now, so that it's visually in front of me, so that I can look at it and feel it and kind of tune into it. I believe that visualization is actually part of the ways to set our goals. So I hope that some of these ideas work for you as well.
Absolutely. So, really, to bring this all back, if we set our intentions and set our goals, this time of year we call them New Year's resolutions, and we keep ourselves out of our own way, which really is the biggest obstacle that we have, because we have the power to change it.
We hold the power, yeah.
Absolutely, as you just said, we just adjust our day a little bit, we adjust our thoughts a little bit, we adjust our attitude a little bit, and we're able to overcome whatever obstacles come to us.
Because a lot of times we actually give our power away. I was unable to do this because somebody else didn't do their part. And again, I mean, if you boil it down, it's an excuse.
It is. We're responsible for every situation and every moment of our lives. Mm-hmm. And we take responsibility for it. Absolutely.
Right, and it's actually learning to do that. It is okay. You're going along with your day and somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do. Obstacle. Well, what can you do? You can stand there in front of it and have it block you from your goal, or you can figure out, how do I get around it? How do I get over it? What do I do to help that person, to help them move it out of my way? But ultimately, it still boils down to you and
Absolutely.
Me, and it being our responsibility.
Everything is our responsibility. So if we take responsibility for our lives, we take responsibility for our days, we set realistic goals, we break them down into attainable parts, and we continue to focus on them not just for the first few weeks of the new year, but throughout the year, measuring how much closer we're getting to them. If we do that, we're able to actually meet our New Year's resolutions.
Any resolution. Any goal. If you don't set New Year's resolutions, it's just a goal in general. And so we also, we want to invite you to come back here. Come back, visit our shows. Come back, read the articles. There is a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, information, other people sharing their stories, their own personal journeys of how they've attained things, some of the obstacles that they come up against, including us. Including us. We are here to share with you our own personal obstacles of getting to the goals that we want. However, we both know and support each other in our goals and our dreams, and we know anything is possible.
Absolutely. And we always know that there's always
Always
a positive
positive
side.
side.
Have a great day.